Hey guys, Lino here from Ruck to Remember. So I wanted to take a few minutes to let you guys know where the donations from last year went. Every year after we make the donation to Operation Leave the Streets Behind, the Royal Canadian Legion always gives us a breakdown of where some of those funds went and the kind of work that they were able to do with what we were able to raise. So this past year, we raised a little over $25,000 for Operation Leave the Streets Behind, which was a pretty good year. And thanks to all of you guys who donated last year and helped us out with that. We're really appreciative. But we got the breakdown. It was pretty exciting for us, and we wanted to share that. So with the money that we raised last year, Operation Leave the Streets Behind was able to help 74 different veterans with that money. So when I say help, the program that we raise those funds for, Operation Leave the Streets Behind, they help veterans transition. So there's a couple of different types of charities out there, and there's the type that basically help people in terms of their day-to-day needs. So you're talking things like soup kitchens, food banks, that kind of thing. Would certainly have a purpose. I mean, we've done our fair share of food drives and whatnot, and that stuff's great. But what Operation Leave the Streets Behind does is help get the veterans who are either experiencing homelessness right now or about to be experiencing homelessness off the streets and integrated back into society. So they do things, for example, for those guys like pay the first and last month's rent to get them into a place that they can afford. Put them up in hotels while they get their the income that they've earned from either Veterans Affairs or disability or what have you, whatever sources they might be able to pull from. The Legion will go and do all the research and the paperwork and everything else that's kind of necessary to get that income flowing and make sure that they have a residence where those funds can go in the meantime. And then once those funds are there, of course, they help get them set up in those apartments. And they don't just kind of like put them in a new place and leave them there. What they'll often do as well is make sure that those apartments and those houses are furnished. So they'll get them beds, they'll get them stoves, they'll get them fridges, food, clothes, stuff to stay clean with, all the stuff that they need day to day, basically to make sure that they're in a good place by the time the Legion leaves them. They don't ever really leave either. Like they'll check in and make sure that they're doing okay. And see if there's anything else that they need or anything else that they can help with. So that was really good news for us. A bit of a personal note for me. So obviously the Ontario Command is one that started Operation Leave the Streets Behind, and it's since spread to other commands as well with the Legion. But in Ontario, of those 74 veterans that were helped, 42 of them actually were in Hamilton, in my own hometown. Which was really a really heartening thing for me to hear. On the one hand, I mean, it's great to hear that so many people, in my own city are being helped. But it was a little discouraging because I didn't even know that there was that many people here that kind of needed that help, that were veterans. It just makes you think how many people I've walked past on a day-to-day basis, maybe, and just while we were too busy and it didn't help that we could have. But they're getting help now, so it was good to see that they were able to get those guys helped and off the streets and into sustainable housing for the long term. So we just wanted to share that with you, let you guys know that things were going well, and that the funds that we had raised had gone to a good place, and we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next. With this year's event, obviously, what kind of funds we're going to be able to raise and what the Legion's going to be able to do with those proceeds. So that's the update that we had for now. We'll get you some more details on dollar amounts and where exactly those funds went. In terms of how much went towards rent and how many went towards care kits and whatnot in the future. But for now, that's the high level update. So again, thank you to everybody who's supported us. Thank you for everyone who has supported us already this year or is thinking about supporting us this year. We appreciate it. Obviously, we don't mind doing all the grunt work, but you guys really make the magic happen with the donations. So thanks for everything, and we'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.